Hey my friends, welcome back to a new video. I have a special message for you today. You woke up to a lifetime of abundance. That's something that you need to remind yourself today. Your time has come to fully embrace the changes that are taking place in your life, because only that way you can see what's unfolding rather than what's being taken away. Life is rewarding you, not punishing you, but for that you need to make a shift in your perception, because often we see, right, what's falling apart, and we may feel like a victim of that process, and we may feel like somebody was mean to us and so on. But because of all those mental processes, we miss what's rising out of those experiences. Maybe somebody was mean to us because we need to strengthen our muscle of how we are perceiving the world around us, because once we strengthen that muscle, we can do the things we always wanted to do. And sometimes we need to move through certain traumatic experiences, so we build up the character that needs to exist in order to manifest the life that you want to live, right? So I want to remind you that life is always rewarding you. All those things, when we shift our perception a little bit, can be seen as rewards, as gifts from life, so we can grow and evolve into a version of ourselves that we need to be. So identify your problems, but give your power and energy to solutions, because your past does not equal your future. And that's something that we kind of know, and I know that you know, but we still need some daily reminders for that, because it's much easier to fall into fear than to embrace the trust, right? So remind yourself that your past does not equal your future. Your future can be made up. Your future can be created by some wiser choices and decisions you can make today, by asking yourself, well, where my life is out of order, like what is not resonating with me, like what are the habits and actions right now that I just don't want to repeat anymore, but I'm doing them because I'm lacking a plan, I'm lacking some clarity. So what can I do today? Am I maybe lacking some whatever, you need to find that out. So do what you know that you can do, and you will soon learn how to get to where you want to be. And this is a powerful statement, because often we don't know how to get to where we want to be, so we do nothing, right? But if we ask ourselves what we already know that we could do, and we start doing it, and we become consistent with it, we eventually find a way, because the universe supports action. The universe supports when you start moving forward towards what's important to you. And once you know what you want, the whole universe conspires to make things happen for you, right? And that is something really, really powerful, because so often we just don't do anything because we don't know how to get to where we want to be. And we don't need to know the how. We just need to start. And that's the message of today's painting, because at the beginning of this painting, I had an idea for something else. So I started painting it and it didn't work. The colors were not how I wanted them to be. So it was like a failure, and I wanted to throw the canvas away because nothing worked. I've tried another one and it didn't work. And then I said, well, I will just let go of my expectations and ideas and visions and whatever plans I had for this painting. And I mixed some new colors. I started over again. And I said, well, I don't even know what I'm painting, but I will just keep up and see where it will be leading me. And eventually, at some point, I've noticed that something is creating, like something is happening in front of me. And at the end, there was a painting that I call it now The Journey. And that's a complete demonstration of how often life is. We firstly fail, and then we think that everything is going wrong. And then if we stay consistent and we keep up, we recognize that all our past failures and frustrations were actually just laying the foundation for the understanding that have created the new level of possibility for our greatest possible life, right? And that's how this painting was created. So I'm happy to share it with you today. It's a small project, but has such a profound story, because, you know, often artists need to be inspired to create something. But if we turn it around, sometimes we need to start creating, and that process of creating will inspire us to keep up. And at the end, maybe a divine inspiration may unfold in front of us. Maybe something that was not made up by us, but happened through us. So we never know when this process can unfold or how this process is possible. But if we keep up with taking action towards where we think we need to be, we may not get to where we want to be, but we will get to where we truly need to be. And that's always incredible, because life is blessing you, life is supporting you, life is rewarding you. And if you decide to truly keep up and walk that path, wake up inspired and do what you know that you need to do, you may not get to exact goals that you have, but you will get to something much greater, and nobody knows what it is because it's a mystery, right? Life is a mystery. And that's what makes it interesting, right? That's why we call life an adventure. Life should be an adventure. And that's how little kids may see life. And when they go to travel, that's why traveling is so interesting, because it's an adventure. But of course, we have daily responsibilities, which doesn't look like an adventure. But those are the times when we are training ourselves to also do what's hard, to also do what we on intellectual level or we just don't want to do. But we know that we need to do, because when we are doing unpleasant things, it's like we are being exposed to a storm, and storm make trees grow deeper roots. So when we're doing things that are hard, we are strengthening the muscle of the character, right? And that is important, especially in now times, because everything is moving faster. Have you noticed that time is moving faster? Everybody is just speeding up. There's more and more information, more and more things are coming out, and you don't know what to focus on, because there's too much of everything. We need to be strong, and we need to be deeply grounded into the earth so we can cope with everything, and at the same time stay focused on the solutions to our daily problems, so we don't be overwhelmed by what's falling apart, but rather embrace what's growing out of it. So notice what is unfolding in your life. Maybe have you recognized that you are becoming more observing and less judging? That is a sign of healing, and that is a major change that happened in your life. You're becoming more observing and less judging. So what it means, you've started looking around you, and you became like a observer, like, okay, what's going on here? Can I learn something, right? What's going on? What people are thinking about? Like where we are going. And you're not judging what's happening, you're just observing. Maybe you've noticed that you are becoming more responding and less reacting. This one is huge, because you know, when we start responding, maybe out of understanding, out of compassion, or out of not complete understanding, but willingness to learn, we are not reacting anymore, which is a sign that you are going beyond the program of an animal, and you're becoming more conscious human. That is a huge sign of evolution. You're becoming more responding and less reacting. Maybe you've learned that rather than sabotaging yourself, you've started loving yourself for who you are. You know that you're not perfect. You know that there's a space for improvement. But at the same time, you don't need to sabotage yourself because you're not already where their improved version of yourself is. There's a path in front of you and only you can walk that path, which means that right now you are where you need to be in order to pave the path that's in front of you, that is all about your growth and expansion, so you can offer something valuable also to people around you. Which means that everybody that's around you can be a teacher for you. And sometimes people around you may teach you that your self-worth is much bigger than what they see, right? Because sometimes people around us don't notice our value, our worth. And for that, it's a great lesson. So usually it's a sign, well, maybe it's for me time to connect with some new people. What if I would engage myself in some new circles, in some new communities, and find people that are maybe beyond me when it comes to growth, when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to life's experiences and goals. Because if you have people around you that don't have healthy habits, that are not maybe financially abundant, that are constantly sabotaging themselves, that are not engaging in hobbies and activities that they're passionate about, if you have this kind of people around you, you may just become the same. And it's time for you to upgrade that understanding of what kind of people you allow into your circle. So for that, it's required a great level of social awareness to see in what kind of version we want to evolve, and are we supported on that process? Are we surrounded with people who can support that process for us? So be aware of that. And if you may say, because I know I've been in that place in my past, like I said, well, I don't know anyone that is working on those big dreams that I had back at that time. So I've started reading books, and I've noticed, well, at some point I needed to engage in certain communities. So when I've opened my company, I've started looking for communities where entrepreneurs are coming together, exchanging ideas. So I got there and I've indulged myself a bit into those communities, and I've noticed, well, many of us are dealing with similar problems and maybe we can exchange some ideas. So I met some great people there, and it also helped me to overcome my anxiety, especially the social anxiety that we have for meeting new people, which can be overcome by going there and meeting people, right? Because anxiety is that undeveloped part of our character that can be developed by consistent practice. Like you may be anxious for a certain sport until you start doing it, and eventually you become good at it, and eventually you become really confident about it. So everything can be overcome by practice. Maybe you're also noticing that more clarity is unfolding in your mind, which means that there's less confusion about life. You're becoming more clear about what you want in your life and how you want your life to be and how you see life evolving around you. Because what I've mentioned before, finding right people, finding right knowledge, finding right maybe hobbies, or maybe you're in the place where you want to transform your hobby into your business, into your job, because you know that that's what you want to do. That's great, because now you're turning your passion into your mission. And if you're in that place, it means that there's much more clarity than confusion in your mind. Maybe in the past you've been a bit confused. And I just want you to notice how much you're actually growing, evolving, and healing. And that's why I said it's time to embrace the changes that are taking place in your life, because only that way you can see what's unfolding rather than what's been taken away. You see, so much is changing in your life, and all you need to do is to focus on what's growing out of it, because there's so much of change that happened within you. Like, for example, maybe you are more at peace with yourself, and therefore you're not so chaotic anymore. Maybe you've started organizing your life a little bit, taking care of the place around you. Maybe finances are a problem for you, but you've already recognized how could you increase a level of your income. Like, I'm sure that even if you don't like your job right now, if you do your best at your job and if you study how could you do your best, at some point your income will increase. I'm sure of that. And eventually you will learn so much that you will be able to say, well, I deserve more, and you will change your job. I know I was at that place in the past, and that's why I know that it worked. And I know that most probably you know somebody who started upgrading himself or herself the way that that person started giving his or her all at everything, and that person started evolving so much in all areas, also in financial, in health area, in any area. It's just a reminder that it's all in your hands. The power is in your hands. That's why I said identify your problems, but give energy to your solutions. It's completely okay to feel stressed out and to be worried and afraid because of your problems. It's completely okay. It all comes to acceptance, okay? Yeah, well, I accept that this is a part of my life right now, but what is happening right now is a product of my past. It's not a product of my present self. My present self can focus on the solution, and therefore my present self will create my future that is not equal to my past. And that means that right now you have a power to change. Not what's happening right now, but what will unfold in your future. And that is an important realization, so never forget about that. Remember, there's a great saying that says, today's beginner is tomorrow's master. So whatever you are beginning today, you may be failing at it. You're a fool, maybe. You feel like a fool. Oh, I'm doing that. Oh, I'm not so good at that. But what you're failing at today, you're mastering tomorrow. So never forget that we are all beginners at something at some point. But also we become good at something at some point if we keep up with that, right? So never doubt your potential. Keep moving forward. And remember that you're capable of achieving whatever dreams you have right now. All your past failures and frustrations are just laying the foundation for the understanding that will help you to manifest the life that you want to live. And that is huge. That is so huge that maybe right now, I know many of those words in the past were like, I said I heard that before, but I was not been able to completely understand them. Today, I understand them. Like a saying, all the wisdom is already within you. That's something we've heard before. But we only start to understand that once we are exposed to a certain challenge and we notice, well, there was a solution present, but I needed to find it within me, right? Once we find a solution within ourselves, sometimes during our dreams, sometimes in our meditation, sometimes we go for a walk and we realize something. That's when we start to understand the saying, the wisdom is within you, the answers are within you. So it's not about those words that I'm saying to you, but putting them into practice and seeing what it truly means by our own personal experiences. So my friends, I hope you found something valuable today. I hope you've enjoyed in today's painting. I'm sending you all lots of love, blessings, and power. Thanks to all of you for supporting my art in my Etsy shop, I Draw My Passion. We are running some fresh new sales, so go there and check it out. I love you all. Stay beautiful, stay creative. Of course, my friends, stay magnificent. Until next time, one love.